In case you didn't know, the recording is in progress.
I know that now.
All right, so welcome back to what did we call this before? I don't even remember what we called it.
I don't remember.
Welcome back to the Rad Paranormal Show. It's been a minute. If you can remember the title of the show, comment it down below. And oh no, Alexis froze. Hold on. You're frozen. There you go. I can hear you now.
Yeah, everything was frozen for a second.
All right, so if you can remember the name of the show, comment it down below. Maybe we'll give you a little something. Today's main topic is going to be Florida urban legends. So not just spooky, ghosty stuff, but just urban legend stuff in general. We thought about doing Florida cryptids, but that's kind of, it would paint us into a corner a little bit. So urban legends lets us explore a little more. And if you want to start off.
Sure. So, all right. I skipped Skunk Gate because everyone knows about Skunk Gate. That's our Bigfoot. Skipping. The other one that I like is called the Wampus Cat.
That's one of the ones I pulled up. Yeah.
One of the big ones too. So basically it's a panther-like creature, so big cat, but only difference is a lot of reports say it has 6 feet or 6 legs instead of 4, and that sometimes it's bipedal, so it walks like a person, or alternatively, it has 4 feet for running and 2 feet for fighting. So,
I also read that one of the versions has like human arms.
Yeah.
Part woman.
So looking into try and kind of narrow down like where it started. And I think in Cherokee mythology, they were saying that it was originally a woman from like outside the tribe who used a big cat, like a wild cat skin, to hide herself and witness or spy on this like sacred ceremony. So the medicine man punished her by making that skin permanent.
Okay.
Right.
That's something. Could you imagine running across a giant cat with four legs and 4 arms? Some of them are human, some of them are cat.
Right, absolutely not. That's a little too close to like spider territory for me.
I don't mind spiders. Like if they're off camera over there next to that mess. I have like six tarantulas, a scorpion. I have a crab now too.
A crab?
Yeah, it's a little Halloween crab. It's just like a beach crab, but he's orange and purple and black. Oh no, you froze again. All right, so we are having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna pause this for a second until she comes back. All right, she's back. I'm gonna keep that pause button handy just in case that happens again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so the first one that I pulled up, these are all the ones that I pulled up. A good chunk of them are from Orlando Weekly, which is pretty cool. First one is Walt Disney's cryogenically frozen underneath Disney World.
Okay.
You're from Florida. You've heard that one, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, it says one of Orlando's oldest legends. There's a myth that Walt Disney had his body cryogenically frozen after his death in 1966 and stored somewhere under Disney World. The rumor is persistent enough to have been featured in multiple articles debunking it, but the legend lives on, especially in the underground cult classic, the further adventures of Walt Disney's Frozen Head. So they've debunked it, but that myth still is.
Oh, it's still
prevalent.
Yeah, it's still
Like I don't know if you watch American Dad, but they did like a whole episode where they like branched off into the other. Each family member went to a park and like ended up like ruling that park because Walt Disney shut it. He became unfrozen and shut it all down because it wasn't family enough for him.
Oh my God.
So it's in cartoons and shows even now.
They reference it. Yeah, it's pop culture.
So what's another one you got?
So this is one that Tyler actually found for me. So, let me fix my co-host. And then
I'll pause it. All right. If you're watching this still, we now have a new co-host.
Co-host has joined us. So this one, the next one, Tyler actually found for me, called the Bard Booger.
I've heard Barden. I don't know if I've heard about the Bard Booger though.
Yeah, so the town of Barden is apparently super tiny, like just over 400 residents. It's in Putnam County. And I guess, okay, so somewhere in the 1940s is when rumors of it kind of started. Started with this lady who was riding her horse down the road and spotted what she thought was like a giant man with like a raincoat, like one of the, trench length ones. Mm-hmm. She got closer to it, realized not a dude. Some kind of like a little close to like skunk ape in like the caveman kind of face and like leathery, furry body, but giant. Some people think it's like a humanoid thing. Some people think it's an escaped circus monkey. But anyways, it's like close to 10 feet tall. Smells disgusting. Very close to a skunk ape, but
you say 10 feet tall?
Yeah. That's what reports say.
Imagine walking down the street and coming across a 10-foot tall thing in a trench coat that smells terrible.
Right, absolutely not. I'm going home.
The next one that I have, it's another urban legend. It's pretty plausible. I could see this happening. The winter park, the urban legend is called Cocaine in the Cars. The winter park sinkhole from 1981 may have taken more than just Porsches. Rumor has it that some car owners were so eager to get their automobiles back because of a hefty amount of cocaine that was in the car's trunk. This has not been proven, but a year after the incident, Porsche owner Bob Govern was sentenced to 45 years in prison for helping run a $300 million marijuana ring. Coincidence? Maybe. I mean, probably.
But I don't know. I definitely think crazier things have happened, especially in Florida.
I mean, in the 80s in Florida, like if some of the cars got like taken into the sinkhole, I could see a lot of them having coke. If not coke, something in them.
Something. It's the 80s. Yeah. So another one that's pretty popular is Spook Hill in Lake Wales. Mm-hmm. So that one I've heard about since I was a kid. Basically, some people think it's paranormal. Some people think it's, an optical illusion kind of thing. But basically, urban legend goes, you park at the base of Spook Hill and you put your car in neutral. You let it just sits there. And then at some point after, midnight, it will roll uphill. Mm-hmm. Some people have said it's because there was, an Indian. Okay, so there's two things I've heard. One is I've heard people claim it's little kids, like bus
got hit by a train or something. Yeah.
Train, and then the kids push the cars to get it out of the way. A absolute wild one, which I had never heard of before until I read it.
The Indian and the alligator.
The alligator. Yeah. Yes. There was a that was being harassed by this massive, like, mega gator. And their tribe's leader put a curse on the land to protect them from this mega gator, which I personally like that theory so much better. I am here for the mega gator. I love that.
Yeah, I think that might have been in one of the creepy Florida books when we had
it was in Weird Florida.
Yeah.
And it was also featured on like a lot of TV shows like Fact or Faked and like all those kinds of shows to like debunk it. They would put people would claim you could put like baby powder on your car, little baby handprints all over it and whatnot, but
in reality, it's an optical illusion. Really, you're going downhill. It just looks like you're going uphill.
Right. And then the baby handprints, that's just the oil from your fingerprints from every time you've closed your trunk and the
Absorbing
baby powder.
Yeah.
Exactly. But fun and terrifying when you're 14, nevertheless.
The next one I have, we've talked about this one a couple times, the Devil's Chair in Casadega. It says located off I-4, the small town of Casadega runs off spiritualism with an abundance of mediums and spiritualist camps. The creepiest part, though, is the Devil's Chair in the local cemetery. Sit in the chair at midnight, and supposedly the devil himself comes and has a conversation with you. Which
also,
in reality, it's a chair that somebody built so that they could visit their loved ones when they go to visit them, and this urban legend somehow spawned around it.
And then the other part of that too is if you leave a beer on it and come back the next day, it'll be empty. Which, however fun it would be to share, a beer with the good old devil, probably just like local teens just drinking it, or someone who lives in the woods just chugging it.
This one that I did years ago. I tried this urban legend just to see,
right?
And everybody's like, "Oh, you want to have a conversation with the devil? That's crazy." Go, it's a conversation. It's not like he's trying to steal my soul. The myth is you have a conversation with him. Who wouldn't want some answers that nobody else can give you?
Right. This is not Georgia. We're not in a fiddle competition. I'm not losing my soul. It's fine.
Yeah. We're just talking about some random bullshit, whatever I come up with, I guess.
Exactly.
Oh, you froze again. Hold on. I'm going to pause it 1 sec. All right. So what's your next one?
Okay. So the Fairchild Oak at one of the state parks in Ormond Beach. It's apparently this really, really ancient tree with all the Spanish moss and everything on it. Which there's a couple conflicting stories saying, it was a site of a couple deaths, some saying it was people, unfortunately committing suicide, some were murdered there, whatever it may be. It's reported that, if you sit under the tree at night, you feel the sorrow of the people that died there. So it's, supposed to be very upsetting. But that's very creepy, but that's such an intangible thing to measure,
Yeah. Well,
if you go thinking that you're going to be sad, you're going to be sad.
You go there reading the stories, you go there expecting to be sad. You're going to, it's like a mental idiomotor effect where you're talking yourself into being sad.
Right. Oh no. Okay.
No, just wanted to cry.
Being sad.
Yeah. The next one that I have is one that I had actually heard as a kid, and it terrified me as a kid. It's Space Mountain. You've probably heard this one before too. Where try and keep your head on for this one. The legend is that a rider was decapitated on Space Mountain because he stood up while riding. This is only partly true. Yes, there was a decapitation, but it was a test dummy. No humans have been killed on this ride. So you don't think the rumor of a boy haunting. So don't think the rumors of a boy haunting it are true. I heard that as a kid.
Yeah, that it was a kid, and the kid stood up, and it just took his head.
Yeah, like we went to ride it. I remember because I have OCD, and I don't know if you know. Different conversation for a different day, but it just a constant loop. So like before we got on it, my stepdad was like, "Oh, be careful not to stand up and keep your arms down because somebody got decapitated on this ride." The whole time I'm just like watching his head to make sure it didn't come flying at me and land in my lap, which is horrifying for like a 10-year-old.
Right, terrifying. So another one, which is super very well known, is Robert the Doll. I didn't know that the owner of Robert the Doll was from Key West, Florida.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, for some reason I had missed that part. I didn't know he was from Key West. I mean, now Robert the Doll is where now? I think he's in freaking Zach Bagans' museum, right?
Yeah, didn't he buy him or something stupid? I'm not. But we'll talk about Zach Bagans another day.
Who knows at this point? But yeah, I didn't know he was from Florida.
Yeah, Key West has a lot of those crazy legends. I mean, a lot of them are true, but they have a lot of crazy things that happen down there.
Right. It's a little bit like, well, obviously much less than Casadega, but it's a little like Casadega where there's just a lot of kooky people all in one place.
Yeah. Like if you look up like Dr. Hans, it's like it's a German, it's like an Austrian name, but it's like this crazy doctor who like I'll post the story in the comments. It's a lot to go into and it's very disturbing.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the guy who made the human doll.
Yeah, like he took the girl he had a crush on's body out of like a crypt, and then kept it in his house and maintained it and did things to it.
Yeah,
it was horrifying,
terrifying, and that's not even like a paranormal story. That's just like true crime terrifying.
Yeah. So the next one that I have is also Disney, because a lot of these it's Florida. A lot of urban legends are going to revolve around Disney. And I'm going to pause again because she froze again. 1 second. All right. So my next one is also about Disney, because I mean, a lot of these, we're in Florida. A lot of urban legends are going to revolve around popular places. This one I have heard, and I've heard from people that work there that it is true.
Okay.
On Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, this legend may just simply be a legend, but we never know. The story goes that a worker named George died during the construction of Pirates of the Caribbean and still haunts the ride today. Cast members claim that he only acts out when he is disrespected. So next time, try saying, "I don't believe in George," and you're on your ride, and see if George comes to get his respect. I have heard from people that work there that this is true.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So he was someone who did he help build the ride, or he just worked there?
It says during construction, so I assume that he was somebody that was putting it together.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now I have not personally tried this because I don't want to be stuck on Pirates of the Caribbean for hours, because I know how that can be.
Right. Fair.
The people that work there have told me that they've tried it and it has shut down the ride.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, coincidence entirely possible because rides shut down for whatever reason, but you never know.
Okay.
Oh, you got another one?
No, but Robert was the last one I had.
Okay. I have probably like about 10 more, but they're all quick little snippets.
Okay. I cherry picked a few of them.
I just pulled up this article. Greenwood Cemetery says, take a stroll here if you dare. The section's called Babyland 1 and Babyland 3. That's depressing.
Wow.
The ghosts of children from the Sunland Hospital will want to play with you. People have reported hearing music, children's laughter, feeling hands touching them. Personally, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I would want to do that.
Yeah.
That's just depressing.
Right. That'd be really just like a real downer.
Yeah.
Because like you don't really want to find that. You know what I mean? Like usually you go into an investigation, you try really hard, you want to find something. I don't want to find that.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
No, especially like a kid spirit. No, I don't want anything to do with that. Next one I have is Haunted Mansion. Like I said, a lot of these are going to be at Disney because it's Florida.
Yeah. Their mansions that just get empty.
I've heard a few on Haunted Mansion, but this one says the 999 happy haunts may have just one more guest they weren't expecting. In 2004, a member of Walt Disney World Forum wrote about a ghost child she captured on camera while riding the Haunted Mansion ride. Is this true? You decide. They didn't put the picture in here. But I've heard multiple stories about the Haunted Mansion. I heard that one lady tried to spread her kid's ashes in it. I've heard that. I've heard that one kid got up. They were like on a high school night and the ride had stopped at the crystal ball lady, and she has her head in the ball or whatever. And he got up to try and get a closer look, stepped out and went down to the gears. I've heard all sorts of stories about Haunted Mansion. Who knows if they're even true?
Right. But yeah, I've heard of the ashes one. I think that's a very popular thing that kind of happens, right? People try and
Yeah, at Disney, yeah, they don't want you to do it, obviously, for obvious reasons, but people try.
Right.
And there's
Yeah.
the one that you can't legally die at Disney either. They don't pronounce
Right.
you until you get off property.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another mansion I heard around here was the old mansion that used to be on Dragon Point.
Mm-hmm.
That one I heard used to be haunted, and people used to, boat and canoe and whatever over there to go investigate. Obviously, it's trespassing. You're not supposed to do that, but
Yeah.
that was I heard that was a big reason why they tore it down, because there were just too many people, being nosy and going over there. It's supposed to be haunted.
I mean, I'd like to have gotten in there, but
Of course,
it is what it is. Next one I have is I-4 Zone, which I-4. At the end of St. John's River Bridge, halfway between Orlando and Daytona, is a dead zone, but not just for cell phones. There's been over 1,700 accidents in the area. The story goes back to the 1800s, which says that early immigrants who died from yellow fever here have cursed the land. They also, it might have been like 520, but didn't they also like find bones or something doing one of the extensions?
I thought so. Yeah. Because it had already been built for a while, but they were adding on when they found it or something.
Yeah, I remember hearing that too. There's a lot of stuff with highways in Florida.
The St. John area, I think Tyler was telling me about one he was reading was the St. John River Monster or something like that.
I think I've heard of that one too.
Yeah, it was
Oh, you froze. Hold on.
So Tyler had told me about the St. John's River Monster, but it was hard to nail down like a good description of it because there were so many conflicting ones. Some of them were saying, oh, it's grayish browns, it's blue. And then one was like, oh, it's pink colored. Like it was so over the place, like what it looks like. But basically they're messy.
Yeah. She spit out that pacifier pretty quick.
Yeah. You want to be involved? Okay.
All right, so the next one I have is the ghost dog of Lake Eola. This ghost is not human. A brown terrier is said to roam the eastern side of Lake Eola and disappear when you stop paying attention to him. There is no definite story behind the little doggy, but one story says a family was moving back in the 1990s and couldn't take their dog, so the dad's solution was to throw the dog in a bag into the river and drown him. That's awful.
That's probably the worst solution you could find.
Yeah.
Like let the dog loose and he'd have better chances.
Yeah. Take him to a shelter. God, that's horrible.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the ghosts that you hear about, they're always human. It's cool to come across one that's like animal based. Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
So the next one I have is an ad. 1 second. The Maitland Arts Center. For some people, art is hauntingly beautiful. That's lame, the way they put that. That's the way it seems at the Maitland Arts Center. Local artists who work here say they've seen resident artist and the building's architect, Andre Smith, roaming the premises. Smith was the spirit of the place, so it's no wonder he can't move on. They don't say that he died. I'm assuming he died and they just see him roaming around. Why did oh, you froze. That's a cute freeze though. I mean, look at that baby. And they actually have one on the I-4 eyesore. You know the building I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You're in Florida. You know that building here. It's this thing right here.
Yeah, a big giant.
Yeah. It says, if you're in Orlando, and that's a word, then you know what the I-4 eyesore is and the prolonged construction process it underwent. What you may not know about the mysterious night the lights went on and then off at the Majesty building. It was July 24th, 2018. In the dark of night, the lights flipped on. Was it simply someone testing the electricity? Probably. Or was it a ghost teasing our misery at seeing the unfinished 17-year construction project? I mean, in reality, it was probably either somebody testing the lights or some electrical issue that happened.
Okay, bad electricity.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 17-year construction. Who knows what's going on back there?
Right.
You froze again. All right, I only got a few more. The next one is the old Bob horse.
I have not heard of that.
The only non-human buried at the Lakeview Cemetery in Sanford is a horse named Bob. He is remembered for transporting humans to the funeral home for 28 years. His grave is constantly covered in flowers that some say appear out of nowhere.
So he's a hearse horse.
Yeah, a hearse horse.
Okay.
Say that 5 times fast. I mean, flowers appearing out of nowhere, people just probably put them there. Nobody saw them put flowers there. I mean, that happens at every cemetery.
Yeah, I don't think probably people would admit that they're going to bring flowers to a horse named Bob.
Yeah, I mean, you walk to a cemetery near like Memorial Day, something, all the flags are there. You didn't see anybody put the flags there, but a ghost didn't go out and put flags out for you.
Right, exactly. That's very interesting. I've never heard of that one. It's nice that they at least, respected that horse.
Then I have Oviedo lights. As you cross the Inconlockahatchee River,
right,
between Choluda and Snow Hill, you might just see a single ball of light chase your car. This phenomenon has been around for 50 years. Some claim the light is just swamp gas. Others say that it's the ghost of a boy from Oviedo High School who died in a fatal car accident on the bridge. Some say there's even more than one ball of light. The only way to find out is to go see for yourself. This is also on 520.
I have heard it. I've heard of that story, and I've heard it, which I have not obviously looked into it at all, but I don't understand swamp gas at all. I don't understand it. I don't understand how that process is going to make light, but I've heard of the ghost car theory, because there's another place in Florida that has a ghost car, right? Is it Route 66 or something?
I have no idea. I just know I've heard a bunch from 520 because so many accidents have had. For a while, it was called Bloody 520 from how many accidents were happening on there.
Right. If there was ever a road that was gonna be haunted, that's the one.
Yeah. Next, I don't know if you've heard about this cryptid. It's the UCF Rat Man.
No, but I'm ready.
In 2018, University of Central Florida students began noticing Rat Man, an adult man wearing a makeshift rat mask and tail who silently walked around campus at night. Nobody knew whether he was a friend or a foe, but he was often seen in the dark near trash cans and stopped a bike thief once. There have been no reported sightings of Ratman since last May, but hopefully the rodent hero is still at large. It was probably a drunk frat student.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that Ratman is neutral at best.
Yeah. And he hasn't been seen since May, so he probably graduated or flunked out and is gone.
Either way, terrifying.
He's just walking around, see some random guy in a mask with a makeshift tail.
Right. And I think that the fact that it's homemade, it's not like he went out to Spirit Halloween and it's like rubber. The fact that he made it, he took the time to make it, terrifying.
Yeah. Rat Man. Imagine you're that person trying to steal a bike and somebody runs at you with a homemade rat costume on.
Forget the whole show scared straight. That's it. Ratman is going to take crime on dorm rooms.
Yeah. And the last thing on here is Skunk Ape, and we all know Skunk Ape already.
He's our own very stinky Bigfoot.
Yeah. And that's it for our urban legends and cryptids. If you've made it this far, I should have promoted it at the beginning, but I didn't think about it until just now. Tomorrow at Rat Inc., they are doing a fundraiser for Billy, one of the artists there, who has been recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, an aggressive form of cancer. And they're doing 50, 100, $300 and $500 tattoos to fundraise for his treatments. So if you have time, you have the money, and you want to get tattooed, or you just want to donate, go on down there and get a tattoo.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, our co-host is cranky. We'll go ahead and say goodnight for the night, and we will see you again soon, hopefully with less of a span in between the last episode and then the next one this time. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.